Hey guys, welcome to the Travel Bros podcast. We are at episode 13. Check today. So I actually know what episode we're on. And we are headed back to the great state of Florida. Jamie's got his Mickey Mouse t-shirt on here for anyone that is on YouTube or Spotify. If not, I assure you it is a Hawaiian shirt with Mickey Mouse all over it. Before we dig into his brand new hotel tower we're going to talk about, I want to talk about an interesting situation Jamie's run into in his personal travel. He had booked the Waldorf Astoria in Costa Rica, which initially was supposed to open in March. I think if I remember right, Jamie did a spring break booking. I think 3 rooms, bringing the whole family down. And they pushed the opening date, but they told him, well, you're still going to be able to stay, right? Because it was going to be a soft opening, and now they've kind of changed. So I just think it's something important, talk about, I guess, like what happens with new hotels. How often do you find they actually book on time? And then what do you do for yourself or clients when those things, those expectations aren't met?
That's a good one. Yeah. So I am dealing with that right now. Normally, my recommendation is don't book something right when it first opens, because very often we do run into situations where there are delays with openings or something may happen where the whole resort isn't open, things like that. I thought that I gave myself a pretty good runway there. It was supposed to originally open, I believe it was early March, and we weren't staying until late April. So I was thinking, hey, this place is going to be open 5 or 6 weeks. They'll have the kinks worked out, like should be no issue. But then we started seeing online where people were getting their March reservations canceled. So I'd reached out to the property. I was like, hey, they had basically pushed the official opening to May 1st. I was supposed to stay the last week of April, over Easter, which is our spring break week. And like, hey, yeah, we pushed the opening, but we should still open, hopefully soft open a little bit early. Your reservation should be fine. Well, other people we know were booked the week before I'm there. They've got their cancellation. So it's looking more and more likely that May 1st official opening date is probably going to be the opening date. So I've been scrambling to try and find backup plans. So depending on when you're going, it may be easy, may not be easy. Ours happens to be Easter week, which is not an ideal week to be trying to find alternative travel arrangements. So it's been a struggle to find things that are affordable with flights that are also affordable. I found a couple different options. Like you said, we had multiple rooms, so we're going with a group of 10 people. So trying to find something that we can all agree on and the price works and the location works and things like that. Obviously, the sooner you know, and that's one thing we're working with, one of us helps, like we try to stay in the loop of what's happening. So if we find out a property is delayed, we're going to try to, pivot and find some options for you as soon as possible, so you're not left a week before scrambling to salvage your vacation.
Yeah, it may be an interesting follow-up question too before we get into the property. How long do you think a property needs to be open until it's operating at its maybe most capable self? When is service, do you think, like at where it's at its peak? Because obviously week 1, week 2 is not going to be it, probably. Not to the fault of anyone, but everyone's getting into the swing of things. There's all these new jobs. Where do you feel like the sweet spot is?
I think it really depends on the size of the property. Obviously, the smaller the property, the quicker they probably, get up to speed. It's like this Waldorf. I would think a couple months is probably all they need to kind of work the kinks out. Some massive properties that are 1,000+ rooms, I mean, you could probably be talking months and months until everything's, kind of up to speed, whether that's dining, room service, spa, everything like that. But I feel like a month to 2 months, right? Like you should at least have a good experience. You're not going to have like those, the day one scrambles where, maybe some rooms are still getting furniture in them and there's, disrepair all over the property where they're still, finishing up last minute things, stuff like that. Month or two in, you should have a pretty, I want to say fully polished experience, but it shouldn't feel like you're in a construction zone and people have no idea what they're doing.
Okay. So from a client standpoint, when do you think, so like, let's say this property actually opens May 1st, like when do you feel good about sending clients to that?
I would think sometime in June is probably a decent, mid-June, something like that. Now, you are talking Costa Rica, so I'd probably avoid the middle of the summer anyway. So fall would probably be a good time to visit. But yeah, a month or two after. I actually stayed at a property, kind of funny story. The night that it opened in Charlotte, I stayed at the Grand Bohemian opening night. This is probably 5 years ago now. Really excited to check it out. It was like COVID restrictions were just starting to get lifted, so you could actually go stay in a hotel. So we were like super pumped to get out, and we get assigned a room. We actually got upgraded to a suite with our Marriott status. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go check it out. Walk into the room, and someone had stayed in there the night before. It wasn't clean. And I'm like, hey, this is the first night it's open. Apparently the executives came into town the night before, stayed in a bunch of rooms, but it wasn't in the system. So the room was like trashed, like someone stayed in it. So it's just little things like that, in the beginning, they got to kind of figure things out. So, not a huge hiccup, but just things that happen with a new property.
Perfect. And I'm pretty sure we had talked about this Waldorf Astoria opening in Costa Rica. But real quick, it's 148 rooms, 40 suites, a lot of plunge pool rooms. It looks really cool from the renders. I'm really eager to see it in its flesh. Well, hopefully, me or you is going to make it there in 2025. We'll get a full episode about it for sure.
Yeah, my plan is if this spring break doesn't pan out for us, I'm hoping to go in our fall break, which is October. So I definitely will be visiting this property at some point this year to check it out. But fingers crossed they pull through and open, but I'm not super optimistic on it.
Nice. Perfect. All right. Now to the main event of today. We're back at Disney. You are the Disney expert, hence your Disney t-shirt. From what I have gathered from my limited Disney knowledge, at least, sitting next to you, my limited Disney knowledge, we have a brand new tower at Disney Polynesian Villas and Bungalows. Before we get into this new tower and talk it up, because that's going to be the main event, give me and any audience members that aren't Disney experts, what is Disney Polynesian itself? Why is it an interesting place you want to stay at?
So like most people know, I am a huge Disney fan. And Polynesian has been probably one of my favorite hotels for a long time. It's one of the original Disney properties. So it has been open since day one. So 1971, Disney's Polynesian opened up. It is like the name says, it's Polynesian themed. So it's kind of got that mix of Hawaii, like Bora Bora, Fiji, French Polynesia. And all the original buildings are named after different islands of Polynesian. It is a really cool property. The vibe is just great. It feels like you're transported to, kind of like Hawaii, things like that. Got some great restaurants there. So Kona Cafe is a favorite of many people. You've got Ohana, which is, they do a really cool character breakfast with Lilo and Stitch. The dinner's really good. It's kind of, family style dinner. The location itself is great. It's on the monorail, so you can take the monorail to the Magic Kingdom. You can take the boat to the Magic Kingdom. You've got, great views from there. It's just a really, really cool resort. It's a great vibe. It's just a really cool vibe there.
How would you compare it to the accessibility to the parks compared to some of the other properties?
So that is one of my favorite parts of the Polynesian. A few years ago, the way it's set up, it's on Seven Seas Lagoon, which is one of the lakes that is at Disney and kind of where the Magic Kingdom is. And they created a pathway so you can actually walk all the way from the Polynesian through the Grand Floridian and to the Magic Kingdom. It's probably, It's not a short walk. It's probably half a mile to 3/4 of a mile, but it's a really nice walk. So when I just stayed there, I walked every time. I like that because you're not fighting crowds in the morning, getting on the boats or monorails. And same, right? If you've ever left a Magic Kingdom after the fireworks in the evening, I mean, there's thousands and thousands of people, this mass exodus. And most people are going to the monorail, the boat, or a bus where you can just, take a leisurely stroll along the lake back to the Polynesian. But you do also have the monorail. You have the boat. I mean, you have as many transportation options as possible, basically, at Disney.
Perfect. And speaking of the lagoon, they actually do have like overwater bungalows on that lagoon. Am I correct?
Yeah, they do. So, I mean, that's as close as you're going to get to Bora Bora or, Maldives in Florida. They actually do have overwater bungalows with, I believe they're hot tubs on there, like that look out right over the Magic Kingdom, and pretty cool looking. A little out of my price range, but they do look really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that seems fun. I actually haven't even really, so I'm going to have to like look those up. I was like just looking at some things when we were talking. I will say the picture I saw from the outside when I was looking, they look a little janky from like they don't necessarily have like this Maldives open air look and stuff, but obviously, you're in the middle of Disney, so you can't really have like a glass bathroom like, some of the ones in the Maldives and stuff. But that's pretty cool. I mean, that's definitely a unique Disney experience if you've got a big budget. So, and I mean, the fact that you can be staying over the lagoon and be walkable to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's definitely unique there. So They have just opened in 2025. Oh, I almost forgot what year we are in. They just opened this year, 2025, the Island Tower, which from my brief reading is 268 rooms. It's 10 stories. You've got views of the Seven Seas Lagoon. It's also part of DVC. You now have stayed there already. So why don't you give me a brief tour of what this place is like?
Yeah, I just stayed there. Actually, last week I stayed there. I've been watching this be built for probably the last year and a half, 2 years. This is a very controversial property to Disney fans. Polynesian was one of the original resorts there since 1971. So you've got some loyal Polynesian followers. And this is a little bit outside the motif. Pretty much Polynesian's always been a understated resort. I believe the tallest buildings have been like 3 stories. So it's not like a big, sticking out kind of, it's understated luxury. So this Island Tower being 10 stories, and it's smack dab in between the Polynesian and Grand Floridian, where the two properties now almost kind of flow together. I mean, this is the end of the Island Tower, butts right up to pretty close to where the wedding chapel is at Disney's Grand Floridian. So you start to get a little bit of overlap with like this Victorian theme, right, with this Island Tower Polynesian theme. So some diehard Disney fans may not be huge fans of this new Island Tower. That being said, I am a huge fan of this property. I was really excited for it to open. Like I said, I've been watching it be built. I stayed at the Polynesian last year sometime, and I could see it kind of coming together. So I was really excited for it to open. A couple reasons I really like it. One, I feel like Disney's done a really good job in their newer properties. So think Disney's Island Tower or Disney's Riviera Resort. They've really stepped up the quality of their finishes in the property. You'll hear a lot of Disney haters say like, hey, you're basically paying like, super premium prices for, base Marriott kind of accommodations. And in the past, that's probably been true for a lot of places. When you walk in here in the rooms, in the lobby, the finishes are really high end. The theming is, while it's Disney, if you're not a Disney fan, it's very subtle. So you walk into the lobby, there's some nods to Disney, but it's not like over the top Mickey Mouse in your face. It's got some Moana themes and things like that. So if you're a Disney fan, you can see them. If you're not a Disney fan, you probably would overlook it and not even notice that it's there. Lots of wood tones, lots of just really nice decor in the lobby, super high ceilings. I was really impressed when I walked into the lobby. Before my room was ready, I spent some time walking around outside. There's tons of seating. There's hammocks that overlook Seven Seas Lagoon, which would give you great firework views. So just the property in general is really beautiful. And then I kind of go into some more of the details, I think, as we talk through it. But what can I talk about next?
Well, give us, before we get into the room talk and everything, what does this hotel tower, like, is this hotel tower, can it exist on its own? Does it have its own fitness center, pool, or are you relying on the Polynesian's amenities for this place?
Good question. So best of both worlds. So yes, this tower actually, it has its own pool area. So it's called the Cove Pool, which is, I would say, kind of more relaxing pool area. There's tons of lounge chairs around it. There's some artificial turf that also have some hammocks and seating that look out over Seven Seas Lagoon. So you can actually hang out in the pool and watch fireworks from the pool, which is really nice. It does have a kids splash area, which is really cool. It's Moana themed. So you got Moana and so you've got this Moana theme, and you've also got, it's like this boat there. It's pretty cool splash area. I saw some kids playing in there. Then the fitness center, which I didn't even know this place was going to have its own fitness center. So in the past, if you stayed at the Polynesian, you had to use the Grand Floridian Fitness Center next door. And it was okay. It wasn't anything special. This fitness center is the nicest fitness center on Disney property. Everything is brand new. They've got slatted treadmills. They've got dumbbells. They've got Smith machines. Like, it is a really, really nice fitness center. So I actually got a workout in while I was staying there. And so if you're big into working out, this is a great spot to do it. One other nice thing that you can talk about fitness that Disney does at some of their properties is they actually put, you're a runner, they put running maps out. It'll show you where you can run for and how many miles it is. So you could get like 3 miles in. They had a trail map in at the Polynesian. So you could run between Polynesian and Grand Floridian and get like 3 miles in, which was pretty cool. They also do have their own restaurant, which is called Wailulu Bar and Grill. They do in the morning, they do just kind of grab and goes like muffins and stuff like that. So if you want real breakfast, you're better off walking to the Polynesian, doing Captain Cook's or one of the sit down restaurants there. But they do a full sit down lunch and dinner. And I actually made sure to leave the Magic Kingdom in time to get back to have dinner and drink and watch the fireworks from the bar. I would say outside of standing in the park to watch the fireworks, this is the best place in Disney to watch Magic Kingdom fireworks. You've got direct view looking out over Seven Seas Lagoon to the Magic Kingdom. So the views were incredible. Hopefully we can like loop a couple of those videos in, but views were amazing. The food was really good. They have Dole Whip, which if Disney fans, most Disney and Polynesian fans love their Dole Whip. They actually do a Dole Whip sundae for dessert. So it's your classic, Disney pineapple Dole Whip, but they also do some fresh berries and stuff on it, which was really good. I enjoyed the food. It was pretty reasonably priced. I did just a couple appetizers, and it was really good. So I would definitely go back there.
Nice. Now, if you're staying at the regular Polynesian, are you able to access like this fitness center and pool, or is it exclusive to the Island Tower?
Nope. So that is the good thing. So this is technically part of the Polynesian. So if you're staying at the Polynesian, you can access all the Island Tower amenities and vice versa. So it is really one big resort. It's just a separate tower within the resort. So whether you're staying at the Island Tower or not, you can still go to the restaurants and use the fitness center and pool and stuff like that.
That is cool. So really the whole Disney Polynesian experience is kind of improved by this.
Big time. So yeah, I would say having this fitness center and this restaurant is a huge addition to the Polynesian in general.
Okay. And then I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but just to be at the most basic level I can here. The fireworks show, the only fireworks show you're going to see from this area, right, is the Magic Kingdom show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And you would genuinely rather be across the lagoon there in the water than being in the park itself, you feel like?
I say yes. So when the fireworks start, they dim the lights and they pipe in the music from the fireworks at the bar and restaurant. So you're still getting the full experience. Like you hear them. It's not like you're missing the show. Like you're hearing exactly what people in the park are hearing and the fireworks. So I really enjoyed it. Being able to sit, like you're not elbow to elbow with people like on Main Street trying to, jockey for fireworks. You don't have kids on shoulders in front of you. It was really nice. I think that if I was at Disney, this is where I would try and come to watch fireworks.
Does the new tower have the Coca-Cola freestyle machines?
It does. So there's actually two freestyle machines right next to the fitness center. So you can get your Coke, get your syrup in there and hit the gym. But yeah, they do. They have two machines there. One other thing, so talking about fireworks that I thought was really cool. So before my room was ready, I got there pretty early. I got there like 10:30 in the morning. I don't think my room is ready till, I don't know, maybe 1 o'clock or something. So I spent a lot of time just walking around the property. One thing that I thought was really cool, they have 4, they call them, they're terraces essentially. They're in the tower. So these you can only access if you're staying in the Island Tower because you actually have to go up the elevator, which is like key activated. So you can't get in there without it. But there's 4 terraces. One's called the Bamboo Terrace, Lava Rock Terrace, Wave Break Terrace, and Reef Terrace. So 2 face out towards Seven Seas Lagoon and the Magic Kingdom, and then 2 face kind of the back way that look out over the golf course and parking lot, monorail, things like that. The 2 face out over Seven Seas Lagoon, these would be incredible places to sit and watch the fireworks. You're on like the 3rd and 5th floor maybe, so not super high up, but the views were incredible from there. Really nice furniture. The decor was really nice. Like I could definitely see if you're staying here, trying to get here a little bit early, hang out and watch fireworks in one of these terraces.
Nice. And so how long had the tower been open before you stayed?
Maybe 2 months. I think it opened at the end of December, maybe right before Christmas, something like that. So yeah, probably 2 months.
And you feel like it was operating 100%, like you'd feel real good about sending someone over there?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a pretty polished experience. I saw a couple things that I thought was funny that, kind of engineers were working on, nothing that impacted the experience, but it had rained the night before, and there was a couple of engineers looking at a puddle on one of the patios, and just the way the ground was sloped, it was like they had built a drain, and the water was not going to the drain. It was sitting in another section. So it was like little things like that, but nothing that impacted like the actual stay or the room or anything like that. It was
Sure.
They're just like, why is the water not draining?
Perfect. Okay, let's shift over to the rooms. I feel like we've given people a pretty good idea of like what this place kind of looks like. One thing that you pointed out to me when we were looking is they offer a hotel room with essentially, no bed, a 0 bed room. where you only get a Murphy bed. It does have a little bit of a cruise ship vibe to me, so I don't know if I'm super excited about it, but I think that's pretty unique and interesting. Why don't you tell me about these bedless rooms
Yeah.
you can purchase?
So this is a fairly new thing that Disney is testing out, I would say. Um, as far as I know, only here in Riviera have these. They call them duo studios. So they sleep two people. I think you can technically also have a infant in there. So like 2 and under or 3 and under, maybe. I don't know that I would want to do that because they are not very big. When you walk in, you have a bathroom and then you essentially have a room that is like, I don't know the exact square footage. I'm going to say this is probably 300 square feet, maybe all in 275, 300. It is a couch with a pull down Murphy bed from the wall. So during the day, great. You have your seating area, you got your TV. It's got a little fridge and microwave in there. And then at night, you'd pull your bed down to sleep. So it's probably good for a couple for a, oh, I see your face. Is it even smaller than I was guessing?
260.
Like we said, 260 square feet, basically pull down Murphy bed. I think the use case for this is a couple coming for a short stay. In my mind, I'm thinking 1 to 2 nights. You either plan on spending all your time at the, just hanging out at the property or at the parks, and you're going to use this place as a, basically just a place to sleep and shower in. This is probably not a room you're going to be spending a whole lot of time hanging out in because it is not very large, but you get a great location and it saves you some money. So it could be a really good option for, like I said, a short, quick weekend stay or, quick stay to check out the property or check out the parks.
Yeah, it looks like there's 5 of them per floor, give or take. When I was looking at the map, it's an interesting idea. They probably just made use of some space that they didn't have a lot of use for. I will say downside, it looks like, at least on whatever floor I'm looking at, floor 2, all of these rooms face away from the lagoon. So there's no views out of these, which probably makes sense. It is a queen bed for the Murphy bed, so I feel like it's decent sized. When you look at the pictures of the room, the sink in the vanity and stuff is actually outside the bathroom, which is different. But that's, I think, what gives me the cruise ship vibe a little bit. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, if you're someone who you just know you're going to be at the park all day and you're going to come and collapse, who cares? I guess it looks like they have a little balcony too for some fresh air. So yeah, it's just interesting. I thought it was a unique property to talk about. But how about you walk me through what's the room you stayed in?
Yeah. So I'll give a quick rundown of like all the different room types.
Okay, let's do that.
I got to check a few out. And so this place, we talked about it being part of DVC. So, wow, when you think DVC, pretty much every room here, other than these duos, even the duo studio still has a microwave and fridge. So they're all kind of either efficiencies or full-on kitchens. So you've got the duo studio, you've got deluxe studios, that's probably more like a traditional hotel room, but still has a fridge, microwave, and these actually have dishwashers, which is kind of cool. Then you have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and a 2-bedroom penthouse villa. I stayed in, and then on top of that, you also have a ton of different views here. So you have resort view. So when you think resort view, as we talk about, it's looking over the parking lot. These are what you would consider like a standard view in most places. Preferred view, premium view, and then theme park view. I can't tell exactly the difference between the preferred and premium views. When I was talking to somebody, it seemed like preferred view could either be like lakeside lower floors or higher floors on the parking lot side. And then premium views, these are only in studios and duo studios, and these are said to be partial lake views, essentially. So I don't know exactly where these are located or what the exact difference between preferred and premium is. But then you have theme park view. That obviously is the highest floor, lakeside, looking out over the Magic Kingdom. So tons of different view options as well as room options. I stayed in a deluxe studio. This is, like I said, it's probably the closest you're going to get to a regular hotel room. It's about 450 square feet. When you walk in, one thing that I really liked about this property or this room was the bathroom. In the past, a lot of Disney hotel rooms had kind of the shower tub combo, which kind of led to that lower end hotel feel. This actually has really nice walk-in tiled shower with a glass door. So it definitely has a more upscale feel when just the bathroom alone like sets it apart from what I would say is historically what people would think of a Disney hotel room. When you walk into the room itself, I feel like they made really good use of space with a lot of built-in stuff. There's like a built-in bench with a table, which I actually sat and worked there for a little bit. A lot of built-in storage. And then, kind of talking about it being like almost like an efficiency. There's a section of the room that has a fridge, a microwave, and they added a dishwasher, which most studios don't have. And what's nice about that, by them adding the dishwasher, you actually get glasses, glass plates, real metal silverware in the room, where a lot of the other resorts, particularly like the DVC resorts, you get disposable plates and disposable cups. And so that kind of leads to that, I don't want to say low end feeling, but it doesn't feel as deluxe, right? Where now you have glasses and like real silverware and stuff like that, which I think is nice. The room has a queen size bed, and then the pull down Murphy bed, which is also queen size. So essentially it turns into a 2-queen room. I love that Disney's doing these pull down Murphy beds versus fold out couches, because fold out couches, I don't care how nice they are not comfortable, where these actually feel like you're sleeping in a real bed now.
Four Seasons has some pretty fantastic fold out couch beds, but
all right, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we'll have to put you in one and see.
I'm gonna take your word for that.
Okay, that's fine. You can trust me. That's a trust me, bro move. It looks like they've all got Keurig machines as well. Is that universal across all the rooms in there?
Yeah, I actually think, if I remember right, they were the Duo coffee makers. So it is Keurig, as well as like if you want to drip coffee like a regular pot with filter.
Interesting. Okay.
I feel like a lot of places are going to that now. And I think I'm not a coffee drinker, but I made a mental note of that, thinking like, oh, it's got one of those that you can do either way.
Okay. Oh, it's very cool. And then what do you feel like is maybe the best value room at this property?
I think it really depends who you're coming with. So I like these rooms. I don't know that I would want to sleep 4 people in here for any extended period of time. I've got 2 kids. They're older now. We could probably do a night or 2 in a studio. I don't know that I'd want to come here for a 5 or 7 night trip in a studio. It would start to feel a little cramped. I really like the 1 bedrooms, and I got to check out the 1 bedroom. I also checked out a 2 bedroom. The 1 bedrooms are really nice, right? So you kind of get the right mix of price and space. What's really cool when you go from a studio to a 1 bedroom, and I actually like this over many regular 1 bedroom suites, because you get a lot of the comforts of home here. So the way the 1 bedrooms are laid out, when you walk in, you have like a dining table, which is like bench and a couple seats. You have a full kitchen, so full size refrigerator, full stove, microwave. Then you also get a washer and dryer in the 1 bedroom plus, which I really like, particularly anywhere that you're swimming or things like that. So even if it's just to throw the bathing suits in there to get dry, or, I don't know if you like doing this. I appreciate, particularly like if you're walking around Disney all day and you're sweaty, you can clean your clothes before you go home, and you don't go home with like a suitcase full of stinky clothes. But so you walk in, you've got the full kitchen, then you walk in and you've got living room. And what I really like about the 1 and 2 bedroom living rooms is you've got this queen size fold out bed, from the wall. So you've got a queen size bed there, but they also underneath the TV have I don't know if it's a twin size, but it's a smaller bed that folds out from underneath the TV. So these rooms can technically sleep 5. But what's nice, depending on how old your kids are, 1 could sleep in the queen bed, 1 can sleep in the twin bed, so they can still essentially get their own beds if they want to. Then you got the master bedroom, king size bed in the master bedroom. And then what's nice in the 1 and 2 bedrooms, in the bathroom, you actually have a large like soaking tub, dual vanity, as well as the really nice like tiled walk-in shower. I really like the decor in these bathrooms. I thought they really felt like high-end luxury hotel bathrooms. And the 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms also have really like nice large balconies that connect like the bedroom and the living room. So it's full width of the room balcony out there. So really, really big balconies. The 2 bedrooms, similar layout. They actually have 3 full bathrooms in the 2 bedrooms. And the only difference is you basically have essentially an additional connected 2 queen bedroom as compared to the 1 bedroom suite.
Got it. Now,
the 1 bedroom also has 2 full bathrooms. Meant to add that in there. So that is nice, like with the teens. So you have a bathroom off like the living room kitchen, and then you also have another full bathroom off the master bedroom.
And the bathroom in the living room has like a shower or something?
Yeah. It's not as fancy laid out as like the master bedroom, but yeah, it's still like full shower. Can't remember if it was a tub shower combo or if it was just a shower, but yeah, it's full bathroom.
Okay. I'm looking at a photo of the 1 bedroom living area. And yeah, you've got a full built-in bench. You got 4 chairs. So, I mean, easily having a meal for 6, 8 people. Is that something people are realistically doing in these? Like, are you ordering or not DoorDash, but like, are you Instacarting groceries and saving some money by not doing dinner when you're out here? Or is there that much savings with this setup, you feel like?
I honestly, so I don't know that people are like cooking full meals here or not. I think a lot of people will do like breakfast in their villas just for
Okay.
ease, right? Like, hey, we're going to try to get the Magic Kingdom for rope drop at 8:30. Like, we don't have time to go sit down and eat breakfast or, whatever it is. It's like, hey, let's make some Pop-Tarts or, whatever it is, cereal, things like that in the room. I think you get a lot more breakfast in the room. I'll normally grab some groceries per se, not necessarily that I'm trying to save money, but I find getting like fresh fruit and stuff like that while you're at a theme park is pretty difficult. So we'll either Instacart or like stop by Publix on the way and get some grapes and apples and, things like that. Have some in the fridge. I do love me some Publix. That's normally like my routine. Like on the way from the airport, I will stop at Publix, grab some stuff, throw it in the fridge to have, on our stay.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like better than nothing, but probably not like something you're going to use as it's not really set up to be a full kitchen, really.
I mean, it is set up to be a full kitchen, but I've never like it has pots, pans, like not
Okay.
it has everything you need. Like if you wanted to cook a full meal in there, like you could definitely cook a full meal in there. I never have.
I mean, it does seem like an interesting idea if you don't value food or you don't feel the food's what you want. I mean, the fact that you can easily get back and forth from like Magic Kingdom, it's more practical than maybe some other places.
You could easily pop back over for lunch. Like that would not be like a huge hindrance to your day. I think the other really good use case for something like this is someone with like some major food allergies. You know, it's not something I necessarily have to worry about, but if you have specific dietary restrictions, like having a full kitchen on vacation is a game changer for a lot of people. Now, Disney does a good job working with it, but knowing you have like safe food that you can prepare and like bring to the parks with you or come back and make like a comfort meal that like your kid's going to be able to eat and there's not going to be any issues, like I think there's some value in that.
Perfect. Anything else on the rooms before I move us along, or is that pretty set? I feel like we did a good job. But
there's this 2-bedroom penthouse villa. This is a new room type. I tried to get some information on it. I saw a couple pictures. So it only sleeps 8 people versus 9 in the 2-bedroom. That you lose that like fold down twin size bed that I was talking about. It has an interesting TV setup that I saw. So the living room actually has a double-sided TV. So you have a TV that faces the living room and a TV that faces the kitchen. I don't know what else is necessarily that different about it. Maybe it's a little bit bigger. So I don't have a ton of information on the 2-bedroom penthouse, but that's a new room type for this place.
Yeah, when I was looking at the floor layouts, they're obviously only on the top floor. So there's that. It does look a little bit bigger. I was trying to find the square footage. I found like a little room tour of it though. But it almost looks like 2 1-bedroom suites in the middle. It's like a really big area. I see the 2-sided TV, but it looks, if you were to cut the room in half, it looks like the 1-bedroom suite on one side, and then it kind of just looks like they kind of turned one into a living room. Okay. I think that covers the rooms really well. I think I have a few questions about the property, but my question about the rooms before we move on is, where are you from a client standpoint, where are you moving someone from to this property instead? Like, where would they have been where you're like, hey, normally I would at X property, but I think we should move you to Island Tower. Like, where's the progression, or what customers do you think are you pulling into this new property?
It's a good question. So I think one is people that were already wanting to stay in like DVC type villa accommodations. So where before it might have been, the only other comparable things were Bay Lake and Grand Floridian also has villa accommodations. The theming between the Grand Floridian and Polynesian is very significantly different. And I feel like the Grand Floridian, while it is technically like the flagship property, it's a very polarizing theming. So it's very Victorian, which I personally don't like the theming of the Grand Floridian, right? So while it is supposed to be the nicest and the best property in Disney, it's one that, while I've stayed at it just to check it out, it's not one that I would regularly look to book. So I think it's somebody who wants like the great location and convenience of like a Grand Floridian or Bay Lake Tower, but with this theming is just To me, it's probably my favorite theming. Other than Wilderness Lodge, it's probably my favorite theming on property. And Wilderness Lodge doesn't have the location that the Polynesian has. So this gives you like the best of the theming, the newer luxury feel, and gives you that great location.
Okay. And then I think my last thing rooms, like we've had an episode about Evermore. We haven't had an episode about it, but we've been very pro Four Seasons Orlando to the dismay of most people on our Instagram and TikTok page. All three of those hotels are the same price for a week. Let's just say spring break. You're looking at either a 1-bedroom suite at Evermore, you're looking at a 1-bedroom suite at Four Seasons, and you're looking at a 1-bedroom suite at the Island Tower. How about what are you doing for you personally, and what would make you put a client in either one of those?
So first, let's be clear. These are never going to price out the same.
Right. But in theory, and just to eliminate the pricing issue of it all.
So it really depends what type of trip you're going for, right? Like I think about this. This is great for going to Disney, right? If I'm going to the theme parks, I'm picking Polynesian, right? Like you're not going to be wasting time getting back and forth. I'm a huge proponent, particularly with kids. You can't go morning to night. You need to take a break. So somewhere during the day, you need to go back to the hotel, relax for a couple hours, whether it's have lunch, hang at the pool, whatever, and then go back to the parks in the evening. So if I'm doing a Disney trip all day, I am picking the Polynesian, just pure convenience, love the theming. And when I'm doing Disney, I want to be immersed in that Disney vibe. Now, if it comes to just a true like resort stay and I'm just hanging out on property, Four Seasons or Evermore are going to be great for just a, hey, I'm here to enjoy the property and enjoy the amenities, and I'm not going to Disney. Obviously, Four Seasons is going to give you probably the highest luxury. Their lazy rivers, awesome. They've got great water slides. Evermore, shiny and new. That lagoon is awesome. If you're going during the summer, when that lagoon's warmed up and nice, you could do the rope jumping. You've got the kayaking, things like that. Then I would have I'd probably be like 50-50 Four Seasons or Evermore. But for Disney,
Speaking of, we didn't really touch on what is we touched on the splash pad, but what's the pool situation? Do we have any slides or like what's going on at the Island Tower pool?
So Island Tower pool does not have any slides. It's got the Moana splash area, but when you're staying here, you do have full access to, what I would say is probably, the very iconic pool at the Polynesian. So there you've got the big volcano in the middle. It's got a water slide. It has a really good, I don't know the exact name of it, but it has a really good kids play area that has multiple slides and water squirting all over the place. So, younger kids love that. The vibe there is really cool. It's super Polynesian. In the evening, it's got, one thing I love about Polynesian at night, it's got all these tiki torches going all over the place. So that's awesome. Yeah, it's such a really good vibe. But yeah, you have access to the main lava pool there, which is really nice.
Okay. And it looks like they renovated a lot of that lava pool in 2023. So it seems like it's pretty new.
Yeah, they did a bunch of renovations on that.
Yeah, and I see this it's almost like my daughter would like this at this age. She's 5. But I see what you're saying. The other place, it's, the kids tiki splash play area, but it's almost like one of those forts. Yeah. So it's above a toddler splash pad because it's water's dumping on your head and there's little slides and you walk through. Because that's my daughter's favorite part of Baha Mar. If you've been to Baha Mar, the treehouse bucket dumping on your head and stuff. So, okay. That's a pretty cool setup. And then the Cove pool, right, is just the pool at the new tower. And that's just a regular, and then it's like a walk-in though, right?
It's nice. Like I said, they got some artificial turf around it. It would be a really cool place to hang out and actually watch the fireworks in the evening because it does have a great view out over the lake.
Zero entry pool. That's the proper term I think I was looking for. Okay, perfect. Look, I think that puts a pretty good wrap on Disney Polynesian. Any closing notes or thoughts? And if someone wanted to stay here or somewhere else, Disney, how can we help them out?
Yeah, like I said, I've been to Disney every year of my life. I've stayed at every hotel on property. So generally consider myself a Disney expert. So if you're looking to talk Disney, plan a Disney trip, we're always happy to help out. One added note that I think we might have mentioned this in another one of our episodes, but the Disney minivan using the Lyft app. So if you're not going to the Magic Kingdom, so Polynesian, great, easy access to the Magic Kingdom via monorail, boat, walking. If you're going to one of the other parks, spend the extra couple dollars to do either Lyft and do the minivan or at least do an Uber. But I highly recommend the minivan using Lyft because it'll drop you right off like where the buses do. But you do it on your schedule. It's not super expensive. You're already spending a bunch of money to go to Disney. Like this will make your trip much more enjoyable.
Perfect. And if you have a trip that's not at Disney, we can also help you. We've had, over the last month, we've booked quite a few trips for people that we didn't even know that we met through the podcast, which has been super exciting. We'd love to help you out. We'd love to give you plenty of information. If for whatever reason you're not traveling, follow us on social media, at least would be a nice help. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts. I checked the other day, we have 5. So someone's already been ahead of the curve. We're getting there. We have 5 5-star reviews. So hopefully we can keep that trend up. And I appreciate it. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See ya.